Can someone move the presentation? Seconded. All in favor? None opposed, motion carried. Thank you again, guys. All right, the next report, 5.1. Lorna, this is the waterworks bylaw.
Yes, Your Worship. At a meeting on April 24th, Council approved to discuss the master plan next to the Doctor Water System for the area. And what we have before you tonight is a bylaw, amendment bylaw to the waterworks bylaw. So the second, third meeting, and that's to include the area of the park in the local service area.
Thank you. So, why don't we move to the first for the discussion? So, seconded. Thanks very much. Any discussion? Anyone in the audience? Everybody's got this. This is about hooking up to the park. Everybody's comfortable. You guys have that at least away, so you guys know what's going on. All right. So, all in favor? Motion unanimous. Carried. Thank you. 5.2, traffic bylaw enforcement update.
Yes, Your Worship. Our parking and traffic bylaw has been in place for about a year, traffic and parking enforcement. And I said that a report would come back to council on that with regard to the ticketing, revenue, and so since January 2019, 230 tickets issued, with 139 of those tickets issued in May. So as the weather gets warm, more tickets have been issued. 4 tickets. I put this in because the question was asking how many vehicles have had more than 1 ticket, and we've had 4 vehicles that have had 2 tickets each. And the ticket revenue to date for 2019 is over $7,000. And letters go out after the first 2-week period is passed, and the cost goes from $60 to $80. And then within the specified time period, if funds are not received, then a letter goes to the collection agency, and the collection agency takes that list after the collection for it. And we've also gone to window decals, which was requested by the village from the decals that we had on the dash. There are still decals on the dash just for guest parking. But that's been a very easy transition and very well received. Street signage is frequently reviewed, and placement of signs has been streamlined. I was asked to contact the Portland Point, and we have been in contact with them about the feasibility of them pulling illegally parked vehicles. They do that in Anmore, and in Anmore they have the full right to come and just drive through the village and tow vehicles that are marked illegal or parked illegally, pardon me. And the manager of Portland Point said that it's really hard for them to come out if they just get a call about 1 or 2 illegally parked vehicles, but the time they got all the way out there, those vehicles usually gone. So what the manager does in Anmore, for Anmore, is he hires a couple extra drivers on the weekend and has a couple more trucks so they can come out and do the towing. And they would do the same for us if we finish. And their basic costs are in the report. For a normal, it's approximate because it depends on the type of vehicle. So a normal car, if it was sold, it would cost the owner $220. A larger vehicle, $250, and recreational vehicles up to $300. And they also can have the right to issue tickets for it.
Can we let's just move to the board? Seconded. All right, you go first.
So what do we need a motion to get you to contract people and towing and have them come?
Yes.
Okay.
It's at the bottom of the report. I put it as an alternate motion.
My bad.
Yeah. So, and it is that equipment going to granted for people, so illegally parked vehicles in the village.
So question, one of the $7,000, I'm assuming that's the 230 ticket, the total value?
That is just 432 that we received payment for.
So that's just the payment portion, so it works out to about 57% of people are getting tickets or paying.
So far.
That's where we're at this point in time, so that's 7,000, only the 133. So Coquitlam Towing, in fact, could write our tickets for us and bill at the same time. Would they also collect when they park?
Roll, chill. Okay? Right, let's just talk crazy. Okay. So, any other questions at least on the reports in advance of getting to the proposal?
Yeah, so when thus far we've collected on 60%. It looks like the vast majority of paid fee for this looks like $50. And a very, very small number, I mean 4 vehicles, so 2.5% have been ticketed. It's still not a long period of time, but it does appear from those numbers, number one, that a substantial number are finding the issue, and secondly, that not many people are duplicating it. Assuming we've got fairly thorough coverage, probably going to come up on that. So in my mind, and it's a very crude measure, it sounds like it would have an effect on the park. Otherwise, we would have 20, 30, 40 cars. So it looks like it's been successful. Can you venture to guess as to how that $7,000 we collected compares with the cost of enforcement? Ignoring staff time, I'm just talking about rate tickets. Cost was the same as
I would say all in we're breaking.
that's including the various staff time, responding to calls and things.
Well, not that so much as the temporary staff that I have that works on Wednesday for her work and the bylaw enforcement.
Pretty much. Okay. So just because I know someone raised it before, you could take it from that. This is not a moneymaker thus far, and this is probably our most lucrative period because it's a change of pattern of parking. People primarily didn't know or were prepared to ignore signs before they saw that they were actually going to have to pay, at least 60% of them so far. And that's just what it's not like they're going to be making. It's not that that's ever our intention. Okay, thank you.
So, question, is this a good time for us to chat about additional budget required for legal signage?
I think that there is a motion.
Hold on, on the information piece? No, we're good. Any questions from the gallery then? Dave?
Yeah, as Roger just said, I believe the $7,000 covers the salary for the bylaw officer. But what about the current signs that we put up?
We had a budget passed for 15 or 15 times, I think this is 15. And so.
Approximately 15. Yeah, that's correct number.
That doesn't include signage.
With repeat offenders, is there any way we can charge them the high fees next time around? As it goes higher and higher, as we get repeat offenders?
I think we don't have the demerit system like we have in speeding, where you can hit an extra demerit based on the keyboard. I think there are people who collect parking tickets like hockey cards, and there's not a whole lot we can do to have a cumulative effect other than just cash in, cash out. Like that, Carolina.
Yeah,
sure.
For the things gallery one, I know we spoke about this, but at the time we passed the past week, do you have that final number of the signs that have been installed? And
Yes, we do perhaps we could bring for that.
Yeah, okay, I ordered 14 signs, poles, whatever, for just under $2,000. Of that, we've, with our stock, we've put up 27 signs. at a cost of over $1,500.
Okay. So just to make it clear, there's a couple of points that I'd like to make it clear. So for the part that we have the MRN, 50% is covered by the MRN, is that correct, Jen?
I'm using my signage budget for the
For
two
that.
MRN and non-MRN to pay for it at this point.
Okay, so and also there is a budget every year for signage. In stock we had, and correct me if I'm wrong, we had 12 poles that was taken out when they were the shiny night black poles in. So we had 12 in stock, and so those signs are being used. A lot of the signs as well that you see up have been switched to a place that we didn't need it anymore and put it into another place. And we had quite a few signs in stock as well. So from the new ones, I understand there was 5 poles installed, but we did order some more for federal days, is that right?
Yeah, I ordered 14 poles and basis signs and all that.
Okay, so of the black ones.
Of the black, yeah.
Okay, so the ones that you see, that's just the silver ones, they're all older poles that we used to have and we just reusing them.
I am appreciative that some of the poles have more than one sign on them.
Yes. Gotta say where you can.
Since we're trying to, since most of these cars are parked cars, right? Metro cars. Why don't you send them a bill? Metro.
Right?
Send Metro a bill.
For Metro, I'm not sure I'm understanding.
The parks, send the parks people.
Oh, you know, the park side.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so we
Send them the bill for all these things.
we actually chatted today with TransLink leadership about this, and TransLink willing to advocate also on every time to try to secure some support from parks to be able to offset the cost of the signage because of a lot of visitors. So your point's well taken. If anything, we're still having to put the money out. I'm not making we can collect a little bit after. I'm not 100% clear either. Even on the MRN, that might be just instead of putting money towards asphalt, putting it towards signs. So it still costs us something in the end, anyways.
I think the 2,000 that we put aside every year for signage. And that's
Is it part of the regular? Is this part of the lump sum MRN? Is it part of?
There's a budget line for paint and signs.
And you can't move it around with paint signs.
Paint.
Lovely. So TransLink then, if they advocate on our behalf, maybe we can get some additional signage paid for it, but the hard part is municipal costs, right? So I don't know. We're hopeful. TransLink is parks are going to pay for the big sign that's going to educate people who care about Belcara PCW because they can't pronounce punctuation very well. So they're going to pay for the sign that just says, "Hey, go left to go to Belcara Park." And then TransLink, for example, today told us we'd be negotiating with Metro Land saying, look, in North Vancouver, off Seymour and Mountain Highway, it's permit parking, big ugly signs, and for kilometers people aren't allowed to park them, not like this Swift Mountain. Same thing for Lynn Valley, big signs, permit only parking. TransLink telling us go whole hog, big ugly signs, get Metro to pay for it, and educate the heck out of all these visitors that they got to go down the park side. And then on top of that, I'm going to talk with Parks next week about starting to man the gate, or woman the gate, at the entry on Helm Creek, person the gate, and trying to have them educate that it's going to close down there also, and not keep driving in after Bunsen and White Pine have already closed as well. So education is a big component of this. I do understand Port Louis' point that ticketing doesn't stop the problem, it just punishes people. And stopping the problem is either blocking or a component of blocking in education, which is going to really make a change. I know we still got more work to do for Belcara Bay Road, and I'm assuming there's a plan that Bernie, you've got, and if we're going to need more time, or otherwise we're going to have to keep talking, we'll get to that on the agenda. But aside from Belcara Bay Road, is there any significant pain and suffering happening anywhere else based on the traffic moving further and further away from the parking, no parking zone? Just to figure that out first.
No, just that we've got, I don't know if we were able to move that pin off of Google Maps, because we still have so many people coming around and turn around. Can I park? So
Yeah. Lisa said she could manage Google.
No, what I said was, yeah, I went in, I did go in, and for those that didn't hear it last time, I just haven't had an opportunity. But I went in to research how you can unpin something from Google Maps. So I want to unpin Lynn Road from when someone searches Belcara Park, asking, how do I get there? And it now comes up, there's two, one says take Complete Way, and one says go to Midden Road. So there are two do pop up, so I want to unpin Midden Road from that. And they actually are contacting police can actually help you with that. So hopefully I will be successful, no promises, I'm gonna do my best. When I finish work after the end of next week.
Our website as well can create some information, so when people go to our website and take a look at Belcare Park,
Right.
we can ensure we start reading as well, so there's more messaging available as part of the station as well.
And I had a question with Bernie, just to clarify, because I thought I heard you say the 14 new signs were $2,000, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And then the other old signs or whatever were $1,500?
No, I've only used $1,500.
Of the 2,000?
Yeah.
Okay, that.
Because we use old stock, some of the new stock is what they got.
Now, and I don't know if that's true or rumor or whatever, but I had a neighbor say that Shay has come across people parking at the park and they're saying, oh, how much is the parking ticket? And she'll tell them and they'll say, okay, here's the $50. And they get the sticker.
No, that is exactly true.
So is that true? And there should be something.
Other people have said they're willing to pay a ticket. I don't think they said it to Shay. They said it to other people that have reported back. But I think it was Rob.
Driving McLaren, it was driving the supercar, and they set out $50 for the
That they would not pay it to the bylaw.
Right.
That's what, yeah.
She's not talking cash.
So good. I just want to give a few rough numbers to give you guys an idea of how much time it costs. It's about $150 per post, $150, $155. And the signs go anywhere from $18 to $38 a sign. So this is the cost. And so far, we haven't even.
How much does it cost to put them in?
No, this is, okay, so this is the material. Okay, and then our workers that are already budgeted for on the annual budget that we do, that they are the ones paying, so it's not like we're hiring extra.
Can I ask Bernie a question on this one? First of all, okay, I'm pretty sure that cost, our people are not in there. And I do believe, because I had a conversation with one of our workers who wasn't very happy about taking signs out, moving signs, putting signs in, because they actually have other things to do. And that takes away from their workday, all of this sign, what would we call it, program that we've got going right now. So what would you estimate it cost us for put one of the signs in?
Just to put one sign in, it's going to cost an hour just to put in one. But we try to put in big lots of them at a time. We put in like 9 in an afternoon the other day. So it's hard, right? And there is a learning curve, you know, as this doesn't work and we try to use some of the old signs.
So it was brought to my attention that, and I think we're talking about the park at this point in time. I believe the individuals in the room that brought this up, and it was John Lumps who brought it up, that there are somewhere between 15 and 20 towers that are scheduled to go into our direct.
That's just one contractor, by the way.
Correct. Okay, neighborhood, and the increase in population. These are all high rises. These are people who don't have backyards. They're going to want to get out. So this onslaught is only just starting. If we look at Saffronat and the lost parking spots there alone, as we move forward, I think we're just going to see, and we've already seen, that, you know, you put a sign in here, you move down here. Now we've got sign. I think that moving forward, this is only going to get worse, just with people wanting to get in the outdoors. So moving forward, I think that we have to take a look at a problem that we're only at the tip of the iceberg. And I don't believe personally that the answer is signs. And I've also had a number of residents tell me they hate signs. We're starting to look like everybody else with 15 signs.
Let's just stay focused here, everybody. First off, this was an update. This was an update. If I can just ask, we're trying to solve the complaints that are coming in from areas that are still having backups we're dealing with. We're all trying to solve the problem that's bothering everybody around parking with just different strategies. And at this point, is everybody comfortable to just accept this as information and move on with it so we get to the towing piece, which is going to have its own conversation? Are we comfortable with at least accepting this information as is?
Absolutely, yeah, and I just would like to make a comment. I would say that to incentives,
Absolutely, and then
to incentives here, I would say that we took at least 70% of the cars that used to be parked all over the village. So you do get a take a look around when you go on the weekend, it's getting better and better. And, yeah, and we just have problems with it.
that's your plus. Everything's good, plus. All right, so can we have a vote here on favor? On favor?
Received.
We've already received it. We moved it, so we're receiving. Thank you. Thank you. Opposed, motion carries. All right, so now, this is the ultimate motion of equipment going being granted access to solar vehicle park vehicles. Can we get someone to move this, it's amended, is it? No. We do need to move it as well, yeah, so move it. Any seconding? Someone want to second it?
The last section. Second page.
I went to the very bottom.
All the recommendation. I'm only looking for a second here. You want a
Second.
Thank you so much. All right. Do we have any discussion around equipment coming in to remove illegally built vehicles?
Thank you, Nick. This is, we have ballpark figures here, and the question is, how do we economically minimize our profit supply? We're always going to have them. Personally, I prefer Jim's option to bring in tow trucks, because if we bring in tow trucks, we're inevitably going to get cases where we wish they hadn't been towed. It simply happens. And the penalties, you start with a ticket from us, and if you move quickly, you can get beyond that for $50. These are people that will do it once, okay? You can do it with a deal with $50. Now we're jumping up to, probably $300 in a whole lot of ATVs by the time you've got a cab in and whatever else you've done to ruin their afternoon out here. For those people that wish to deserve it, and for those people that are parked in, emergency turnarounds, I don't have a lot of sympathy. But for the balance of them, I do. I personally would rather look at granting, two $50 tickets and then doubling it, trebling it, or something like that. And I guess the question for people is, can we simply do that? Can we have a system of ticketing where your third and fourth ticket costs substantially more than the first two?
Yeah, we could, make the bylaw amendment, your worship, or in addition to that, we could say that we'll put them going to, tow an emergency turnarounds and velocity or park vehicles, whatever that may be, that would impede the fire truck.
Yeah, and look, from my point of view, I don't mind the tickets elsewhere, and I wouldn't even mind paying them a portion of what we collect for the tickets elsewhere. If it saves us having an officer out there on, I don't know, Tuesday afternoon. But I'd rather not tow unless it's in an emergency turnaround.
So if I could just, for the context of the conversation, this is a real risk, I think, of some NIMBYism, because not everybody has to do with cars blocking their driveways. And it's easy to say, we don't need to have tow trucks. The reality is the people who are getting most negatively impacted by this are on Belcarabé Road, and there are actual cars blocking driveways, and they're blocking the road. And it's not just about safety for the fire truck, but it's truly impacting the right one. I just wanted people to take into consideration that just because it's not on name doesn't mean it's not having a huge issue on people's lives right now elsewhere. So it's easy to dismiss based on personal experience, until your personal experience is actually
I have no personal experience.
I just want to highlight the fact that we are certainly dealing with people that not able to even get out of their driveways on the Caribbean Road.
Can I ask, does anyone here have that experience? Couldn't get out of your driveway?
It was just a couple of doors down.
Well, we've had to people move along.
Yeah.
We come home and they're there and they're sitting in their car and they're just, we're the most heavily used area, so right by the picnic ground. And it's like, I just cheer for a minute. Well, move for a minute.
There was a woman, I think at the town hall, who literally couldn't get out of her driveway and was calling me to try and find support.
Yeah.
And that's just the one that I heard of, I think.
They were parked on the other side on Belcarabé, not in front of us. Her houses would be there, Belcarabé, and they were on the rock side. and it was difficult because they need to swing wide, yeah. So sometimes a 3-point turn.
That's taken care of.
Yes.
I said that you're not switch parts, but because of that really book. If I can make a comment, I do think it's important, I really do, I think it's important to bring the truck in. And I wouldn't just say emergency turnaround, fire hydrant, and any tires on the road. I think we do need to send a strong message.
There's no stronger message than watching a car get
Yep.
closed right in front of you and thinking, oh my God, I won the lottery, I'm not going back here.
Yeah. Yeah, I do, I think it's important, I for one, I'm excited.
It's not just a decision people are making. It's not
Yeah.
just-
Well, and you know, just the other day when he came down with his family, we had somebody that, had pulled into the turnaround and was loading. And they were loading for, I don't know, 25 minutes. And, you know, the family came walking down with a little Chinese person in the back seat of that car, left alone. While mom and dad were, Lord knows doing what, down trying to bring a canoe up. So, and as I said, you know, we're gonna start seeing one more of this. So that's actually one federal thing down at our turnaround. So when we take a look at this, that's a common practice of what people do when they unload their canoes and kayaks down. They back right up, they leave it, they take it off, they take it down, they then take their gear and go down, and
I guess my point is, it's exactly the mirror image of Neil's point. I mean, I've never had my driveway blocked, actually I have, it's only for a few minutes, and it's because of construction. But, the same is true of towing. I mean, I don't know how many you've been towed. It's a traumatic experience. And yes, you may have made a mistake and you may have parked where you shouldn't. I accept it if it's an emergency turnaround. We sympathy for people parked in an emergency turnaround. But towing wouldn't have solved that problem. Unless they're going to tow away with a child in the back of the car. But you're not going to do it. And I think a fine is frankly, would be, I have no idea what a doubling or trebling of a fine would be, but if we can do it, I'd be prone to do that, and I'd just grant people 2 tickets and then jack it way up to a prohibitively expensive fine. Frankly, you know, if it was 300, it's, you know, if someone is upset about that, well, you know, you could have been told. Which would you rather have? It's no cost for $300 in the tow. Jim?
To Bruce's point, maybe just tell the towing company to bring them up to this lot. And you're not really sending them downtown all the way to
Put a
Coquitlam.
hike up here, yeah.
And at least then, you're giving them some leeway. They're still gonna pay the fine, they're still gonna pay the towing fee.
Tow business.
How would they get the towing fee?
They get their towing fee, they'll get
If
charged,
they get it from the impound lot.
but at least maybe they don't, well, they can get on a bus and go. But still, it may be a little bit more lenient.
But why not a fine?
I noticed, at the fire hall, they say that the parking is there for the firefighters,
Right.
and it says, you will be towed.
Yeah.
You know, I hate to add to the printing on the signs, but I think it's fairly effective. I mean, that's fair warning.
It's not like people aren't getting towed all over the place. I mean, every day is towed.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and there was a time in the past when, for some reason, they were towing here, and they were just taking them as far as Ioko, so I guess they can do a temporary setup, I guess.
That was for a couple of weekends, yeah, that worked well.
Yeah, so at least they're not completely gone, like you said, if you take the bubble, go that far.
Yeah.
you have to have somebody where at that lot, so then you can get your car back.
Any other, please, Mike?
I really don't want to see what I'm doing. I've been privileged to come up here to do towing of cars that are parked to use the park or to go on a hike somewhere. I don't want to see that. This is not animal, it's dog care. It's quite different in the village, the way we run things. It's more of a friendlier community. I don't want to change it. I really don't. I'm all in favor of towing for fire or for safety areas where there's too much going on here, it's getting too much of a hazard, it's in the middle of a hot summer weekend, too much. That might be a safety issue. If it's a safety issue, a fire zone area, I would say to that if it had to happen. But if things worsen and all these kind of things over a period of time, we're not ready for this yet. Then I would agree first to go and have a sign in problematic areas. With the one to do with you will be told. But only, we're not ready for that yet.
Can I ask
I
you a
really
question?
don't want to see El Caribbean labeled as a unfriendly place.
Can
I know Anmore is.
Can I ask you a
I've
question,
heard
just for your perspective, if we can't get Coquitlam Towing to come out on a call, because they said that they don't want to come out, because the car may not be there by the time they come out, we may not have the option to just have towing on a call when there's a car in a fire zone. So we might not have any towing capabilities for cars parked illegally, or have all towing capabilities to try to guide them to certain areas of the village. But it's not unlikely that we can't just call them out just for a turnaround for fire, unfortunately. And so would that change your mind if we had cars that were parked in a fire turnaround that we couldn't get rid of?
I don't know. I just don't want to see it being overly used. I just think that would happen too much.
But you know,
in my envelope, I don't think they're ready for it.
If you have cars parked on both sides of Del Caribbean Road, you can't get the bus or a fire truck or an ambulance. It's just not big enough road. So that's what does it for me. I think it is a safety issue.
So I think that was next, right? Yeah.
Well, I was just going to suggest, might we leave the towing piece until after Metro then puts up the big huge sign redirecting traffic and see if that makes a difference, and then revisit it if it continues as the same, and then say, okay, we seriously need to look at the towing.
Just, I take Neil's point that if we were to say to Equipment Towing, feel free to tow in these 4 areas because they're turnaround, you might not see them. The likelihood they're going to see anything if they come out is minimal. But if we added the opportunity to provide ticketing, say, and pay any reasonable amount of that, just frankly, we don't care, it's not costing anything at that point to get the ticketing done other than the follow-up work, then that might be enough. I guess, I'm just saying I would rather try a differentiated finding provision and keep an eye on things, rather than go directly to towing except in the emergency situation.
I think for the warmer months approaching, July, August, I do think it's right to have a tow truck during the day.
Ron, is the next?
Can we talk to Anmore and see how they're making up with their towing program?
It's the same company, and it would be the same system.
No, but can you find out how successful it is to help with the problem?
The people physically turning people away is helping the problem more than the tow trucks did by themselves. They had to go to the point where there's actually a woman who's got a stop sign at 100% of the time during the Saturday and Sunday, literally saying, "You live here, show me your address," and you see everybody tries to get in towards the lake.
They did this, I saw them doing that last summer, 2 weekends in a row, right in the middle of August. So between East Road and Sunside, you couldn't go right, so you couldn't get to the lake. They were literally turning people around, and she wasn't very nice about it. She was screaming at people, like, it worked. It worked. It was, and you know, and I have to say, I know a lot of people that live down there, and I was even on an event with a lot of people that live down there a few weeks ago, and I asked them about that, and they said, I know he looks radical, but we are so happy that it got done. Like, they were turning people because he got so bad. It gets worse than us over there, like he really does.
So was that a resident that was doing that?
No, it was the flag people. You know the people that you hire for construction?
So then we would have one at the entrance to the village, or the selling people?
Well, that's something else altogether. We've never discussed that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That labor review, Brian.
You mentioned earlier, right in the beginning of this, that the main thing is an educational program. Get everybody educated. So no parking sign means no parking. Rules is rules.
Yep.
So if you can't read the sign, you don't obey the sign, then you get towed. Finish. I don't know why we're going to try and do all this trade-off and accommodation, just do it and the guy learn the lesson.
It is surprisingly common to have permit parking only. So you look at